going on, Conscious Crew? Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what time it is. Before we get into today's discussion, make sure that you guys thumbs up the video. Thumb it up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, it unthaws that mother lover, but it also triggers up YouTube's notification system. So if you are in the building, whether you're part of the Replay Gang, a Bush Baby, or active with me in real time, please swing and bang and bully the hell out of that like feature. We need all of that. Also, if you enjoy everything that Kane does here, you can always donate to the platform on Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv, and that's Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, spelled just how it is here on the channel. All donation information is in the description box below. Also, make sure that you guys have your notification bell set to all so that you never miss a day or hour when the King is in fact King. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them know that we're loud, live, and in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Right, TGIF, Conscious Crew. Happy TGIF, the Dream Dog, Carolyn, Tam, President Jewett, who says, God bless and more blessings to you, CTV. I receive all the blessings and blessings back to you, pastor. What's going on, Angie? Happy TGIF. Destiny. Okay, boo, got me on the Jumbotron today on period. Hey, Adora, what's going on, my sweet Styles by Stevie? Shout out to my baby mother, Styles by Stevie. Make sure y'all follow her, honey. Daytime television's most realist on YouTube and Instagrams at Styles by Stevie. Thank you for the shout out, Style. I'm about to catch your show, boo. And shout out to you as well. What's going on, Auntie Jace? What's going on, Adora? Hey, Todd. Hey, Shayla. What's going on, Destiny? Oh, ooh, child. Auntie J says Melania is being sued by author Michael Wolff. She sent him a letter threatening to sue him for $1 billion if he didn't cease to talk about her and Epstein. Then he filed the I remember hearing about this way back when, but I didn't know she actually filed. Okay, we're gonna get into some things. Remind me of this point here, Auntie Jace, before my show ends. I'm gonna try not to keep y'all here for a long time, but we do got to do some reading. That reading is probably going to take us into a lengthy show, but I'm gonna try to keep this show under 1 hour because I've been feeling so good with my under 1 hour shows. What's going on, Sin? Happy Friday. Hey, Deshaun. What's going on, Texas? Hey, Christina. What's going on, Noella? Or Christian, I should say. Hey, boo. What's going on, Noel? Hey, everybody. All right. So let's get into it, y'all. So Melania Trump, child, put together a press conference that was so random yesterday that it even surprised and caught the White House itself off guard, where she decided she wanted to denounce her ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and nobody knows exactly why. Well, I do. But before we do so, let's get into a small excerpt from Melania Trump's press conference on Thursday, courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk. Let me refresh this for you guys. You guys run them lights all the way up. Refresh it one more time, actually. Move.
Linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City.
Now, mind you, we already know that she's full of crap. We know that Jeffrey and Donald were great friends and close friends, even according to Donald Trump. Now that Donald Trump is president and the Epstein files are a whole thing, of course, they're now trying to distance themselves, which is practically impossible at this point. Donald Trump and Jeffrey have shared girls, that they've given each other strange birthday gifts. They've talked about having shared and dark and deep secrets between one another that they were planning to go to the grave with. Obviously, that hasn't worked out too well for them. So Melania is just flat out lying, basically saying that Jeffrey Epstein and his heathen whore, Mrs. Maxwell, were nothing more than people who they from time to time rub elbows with due to being in the same political and social circles. Not true. And is there anybody else who's getting a type of trauma listening to Melania Trump? Girl, I feel like I am on hold right now, girl. Okay, with Bank of America's customer service, child. I feel like, I'm calling the customer service child of Boost Mobile. Okay, trying to change my number. And I got to deal with Laylene, undocumented ass on the phone, trying to hold down her citizenship, struggling through all this damn half-pronounced ass English, girl. Is anybody else having a customer service trauma listening to Melania right now? Anybody?
Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
Okay. Then, during a recent public event, which is the one that we just saw from yesterday, Melania Trump walked away when asked about Howard Lutnick right after her speech. The First Lady, known for her poised demeanor, opted not to respond to the query on the financial and business executives. Girl, check out this walk-off. Woo, child. Wow. Now, I'm not going to lie, y'all. This walk-off is epic, baby. Why did Melania Trump walk off as if she had just gotten her final clock from Flav, girl, and is walking back to the stage, girl, right before the season finale? Why she just walked off, baby, like Flav just gave her her chain and she in the final two, baby, returning back to the stage for the face-off? Baby, the walk-off is kind of epic, baby. I might have to clip that. All right. Then social media users went up in flames. Like, what in the hell? Why did she put together this random ass? She didn't even speak this much when the Jeffrey Epstein files first debuted and MAGA had it going on. So one user is saying, girl, out of nowhere with zero warning, not even on the White House's own daily agenda, Melania Trump called a surprise press conference today to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. No heads up, no explanation for why today, no context, just quote, the lies linking me with disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. All right, I'm confused. Didn't her husband say the Epstein files are a hoax and we should all move on? I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Trump released a series of deranged Truth Social posts right after she did this without telling him about it, girl. So not even White House officials understood nor knew about this press conference. It was that freaking random. Well, all hell is breaking loose, baby. And this is obviously a response to Melania's old friend and ex-model, Amanda Angaro. All right. Even Donald Trump was caught off guard when First Lady Melania Trump held a surprise press conference yesterday to suddenly denounce lies connecting her to Jeffrey Epstein. Reporters wondered what story she was trying to get ahead of. Now it's become clear. Melania Trump may have been responding to threats made against her by former model and friend Amanda Angaro. Last month, Amanda was deported to Brazil after her child's father asked the Trump administration to intervene. Her ex, Palo Zampolo, or Zampoli, is a Trump ally and former modeling agent. He is responsible for bringing Melania allegedly to the U.S. in the 1990s. Amanda Angaro has been trying to get the Trump administration's attention on social media. She claims she and Melania were once close friends, so close that she maintains a relationship with Melania's parents. Now she is threatening to expose what she knows about Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and President Trump, who she called a PDF file. And here are those series of tweets from yesterday, okay, prompting Melania Trump as to fly her ass before the country, baby, to denounce such lies, just the lies. So Amanda shot off a series of tweets, one starting with, "Until you fall as a little chicken. I have nothing left to lose in my life. I will tear down the entire system. Be careful with me, bitch. I will tear down your corrupt system, even if it's the last thing I do in my life. I will go all the way. I am not afraid. Maybe you should be afraid of what I know, of who you are and who your husband is. I will take legal action against you and your PDF file husband. I've known you for 20 years. You knew I was detained by ICE. You was present in my life every year on my son's birthday, even sending Secret Service and being the first to congratulate him back in 2016. Something was clearly wrong, but I am not a part of an omission involving children. So what did you do, Melania? You tried to involve me, but you failed because I have character. You know what I think about you after 20 years? Okay? This is all coming from this former model. Now, mind you, I didn't know who the hell this lady Amanda was, etc. So I had to end up getting into a bit of a deep dive. Let's get into the crazy world of Brazilian former model and Melania Trump's ex-friend, Amanda Angaro, who was deported back to Brazil following a nasty custody battle with her wealthy ex-husband and baby father, who shipped her ass, girl, right up in the Amazon Prime box, along with Portia's ex-husband, Simon, baby. This is crazy work. So Amanda Angaro arrived in Brazil in April of 2025 on a deportation flight from the United States, ending a 23-year life in the country. In an exclusive interview with O Globo in February, the former model said her removal followed the intervention of her ex-partner, Italian businessman Palo Zampoli, a figure with long-standing ties to political power in Washington, girl. This is about to get nuts, you all. Let's listen. Quote, "They came in at 6 a.m, pulled me into the hallway in my pajamas with my face turned to the wall and took our passports." Wait a minute. Can you guys hear me? Give me a one if you guys can hear me. I didn't even realize that my damn earbuds were halfway connected. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear me. And moderators, please rotate my social media links for me. Thank you so much. TGIF, you guys run all the likes all the way up. Okay, all right, great. Okay, let's go. "They came in at 6 a.m, pulled me into the hallway in my pajamas with my face turned to the wall and took our passports," Angaro said. Quote, "They handcuffed me and my husband in front of my son, who was also taken to the station because he's a minor and I have no one to leave him with. My God, today." Angaro lived in the U.S. from 2002 until her deportation in 2025. A report published last week by the New York Times lent support to her account, stating that Zampoli contacted a senior immigration official and sought to have Angaro transferred to a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility before she could be released on bond. According to the report, Zampoli's objective was to regain custody of him and Amanda's 15-year-old son, Giovanni, amid an ongoing legal dispute. So this man weaponized ICE against his ex-wife and baby mama, because of a custody dispute, putting her in a situation where she was deported, where the child she had with her current partner was also detained by ICE, an entire mess. And this is one of Trump's really good buddies. Zampoli, 56 years of age, currently serves as a special envoy for global partnerships, a position created by no other than Donald J. Trump. On social media, he presents himself as a member of the Kennedy Center's Board of Trustees and frequently appears alongside high-profile figures, including FIFA President Gianni Infantino, Trump advisor Jared Kushner, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Born in Milan, Zampoli moved to New York in the mid-1990s, where he met Donald Trump. Their relationship deepened over time, particularly during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. When questions emerged about Melania Trump's immigration status during her early modeling career, Zampoli said he had helped secure Melania's work visa through his role as a modeling agent. At the time, in 1996, he was working with the New York-based Metropolitan's Models. The following year, he founded his own agency, ID Models. Angaro described Zampoli as embodying a lifestyle that resonated with Trump's circle. Daily lunches at Cipriani in New York, lavish birthday parties, at times featuring exotic animals such as tiger cubs, and a social orbit filled with models, champagne, and tabloid attention. During their 19-year relationship, she said that he brought her to parties hosted by no other than music mogul freak-off Sean Diddy Combs, who is currently serving a 4-year sentence for transporting women for prostitution and to yacht gatherings attended by celebrities and members of European royal families, you guys. At such events, she said Zampoli often brought his own waiter to ensure that no one tampered with his motherfucking drinks. My God, today. When Trump won in 2016, Palo acted like he had been elected too, Angaro said, quote, "We were suddenly invited everywhere, at New York's parties at Mar-a-Lago. We and one other couple were the only ones at the table with Trump and Melania, and here they are together." Jesus, girl. Oh, girl, our world is so wicked and crazy and so intentionally curated that it's insane to think that our reality is literally fiction. Okay, the way that this whole thing is written out for us, the way that every society is set up is through intentionality and political and social agenda, that there is nothing random in man's world. It's all being specifically curated. Zampoli's social circle also overlapped with that of no other than Jeffrey Epstein himself, the financier who died in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges under Trump's administration. Epstein was a frequent visitor to ID Models, the agency founded by Zampoli, and the two once explored acquiring elite model management in 2004. Zampoli's name appears repeatedly in documents released as part of the Epstein files by the U.S. Department of Justice. This is not anything new to us at this point, you guys. This is not even shocking to us. You guys know that Donald Trump also owned an agency, and you guys know that these wealthy Luciferian, Satan, child trafficking, ritualistically sacrificing lunatics oftentimes occupy record labels, record companies, modeling agencies, particularly modeling agencies, because they're able to traffic and launder through these agencies. Remember, even girls from Trump's agency, his pageant agency, came out and exposed him for being a perv, walking in on them while they were naked. Girls as young who were pageant queens as young as 14 and 15 years of age, okay? This is what they do. This is how they operate. Angaro has been invited but not yet subpoenaed to testify before the U.S. House Oversight Committee investigating the case. She said she encountered Epstein once in 2002 when she boarded a flight from Paris to New York on one of his planes known as the Lolita Express while traveling with her agent, French modeling scout Jean-Luc Pernell, who was later accused of recruiting young women, of course, for Epstein. Later that year, she met Zampoli in New York. Baby, insane. Quote, there were around 30 girls on the plane. I found it very strange, she said. They looked more like students than models, very young, beautiful, but not with a model's profile. Looking back, Angaro says she immediately felt something was off. Many of the girls appeared to be between 14 and 16 years old. Some seemed familiar with Epstein and with Mrs. Maxwell, his longtime associate, who is now serving a 20-year prison sentence in Texas for sex trafficking and related offenses. Quote, some of them sat on his lap, stayed close, playing around, she said, adding that Maxwell also appeared very at ease with the minors. Quote, it felt like they already knew each other. It didn't seem like a group of strangers meeting for the first time. Those people hadn't just met like I had. When Maxwell learned Angaro was Brazilian, she reacted enthusiastically. Oh, how nice that you're from Brazil. At one point, Angaro said Epstein and Maxwell went to the back of the plane accompanied by some of the girls. Angaro said she kept to herself throughout the flight and did not interact with other passengers. Angaro and Zampoli, her ex-husband, were together for nearly 2 decades. She said that when their relationship began in 2002, she was 17 herself. Okay, she was a teenage girl when she embarked upon her romantic relationship to this wealthy political elitist and model agency CEO owner, all right? Like Jeffrey, like Trump, like Zampoli. Okay, she was 17 years of age with a promising career in modeling while he was a 32-year-old modeling agent based in New York. After a brief separation in 2018, their relationship ended definitely in 2021 following reports of an extramarital affair. Of course. In 2023, Angaro moved to Florida, leaving her son at a boarding school. The following year, Giovanni came to live with her and remained there until her arrest. She married Brazilian physician Joy Bastido Kanha Arunjo, I probably butchered the hell out of that, in 2024. So she remarried, had another child, etc. According to Angaro, tensions escalated after Zampoli learned of their relationship and began questioning her immigration status. 2 days before her attorney filed a new child support claim against Zampoli, Angaro and her husband were arrested. Authorities in Adventurer, Florida, part of the Miami metropolitan area, said that at the time of the couple's arrest in June 2025, they had received anonymous complaints alleging that Araujo was operating an unlicensed medical clinic. Okay, so this was all retaliatory behavior against Amanda and her new partner. People were falsely flagging her husband's medical practice, etc. Zampoli allegedly was questioning and alluding to compromising her immigration status. This is a mess. The charges included practicing medicine without a license, grand theft, and organized fraud. The couple denies wrongdoing. Her husband said that he was not practicing medicine in the U.S. at the time and was instead teaching while working to regularize his credentials. He now holds certification as a physician assistant. In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said Angaro was detained and deported for overstaying her visa and facing fraud-related allegations, rejecting claims of political motivation or interference by Zampoli. Contacted by O Global, Zampoli said he wishes, quote, only the best for his former partner and dismissed Angaro's claims that he was behind her arrest and deportation as absurd. He said that after speaking with Florida State Prosecutor Stacey Cleveland, he was told the allegations involving the clinic where Angaro and her current husband worked had already been under investigation for about 3 years. Angaro disputes the Department of Homeland Security's account, saying her immigration status was, quote, in transition, and providing documents she says support that claim. Because Because her husband holds a green card, she argues that she was eligible for residency through the marriage, though she acknowledged she did not have a valid visa from 2019 to 2024. She also points to a 2018 out-of-court agreement in which she says Zampoli committed to helping regularize her immigration status and provide financial support. That was, of course, before she remarried and her ex-husband found out about the new baby daddy. A document obtained by O Global shows the two sought a private settlement agreeing to support her immigration process and provide financial assistance while acting in Giovanni's best interest, their son. After the final separation in 2021, none of those commitments, of course, were fulfilled. Quote, Zampoli said, "What if Trump wins the next election? We'll sort out your visa situation and passport," Amanda recounts. And here is a screenshot of that said mutual agreement between them. My God. Angaro said she chose to return to Brazil in part out of fear of losing custody of her son while in detention. Her current husband, remains in Florida under electronic monitoring as the case proceeds. This is crazy. After her return, the New York Supreme Court authorized her son's relocation to Brazil in November 2025. Weeks later, in December 2025, she filed a complaint alleging that Zampoli had unlawfully taken the child back to the United States. On social media, Zampoli offered a different account, saying that the teenager chose to return on his own, quote, brought the ticket with his mouse, and told him, "Dad, I love America. I want to stay here forever." Why am I talking as if Zampoli is an entire Russian? A message obtained by O Global shows that weeks after Giovanni's return to the United States, Zampoli again invoked his influence, stating that his son would give a statement to Florida State Prosecutor Stacey Cleveland and that the record would be forwarded to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who, of course, Amanda is cussing the cow all up and down Twitter, girl. In the same messages, he refers to, quote, Jay Clinton, a name that appears to point to Jay Clayton, whom Trump appointed to serve as U.S. Attorney in Manhattan. Bondi and Clayton are involved in handling the Jeffrey Epstein case. The Madame Cardi referenced in the messages is the attorney appointed by a U.S. court to represent Giovanni's interest in the custody dispute between his parents. Okay, so this is how the rabbit hole all comes together, girl. It's all overlap. It's all relational, baby. Quote, "This wouldn't be the first time Palo has tried to use his influence to obtain favors within the government," Angaro said. Quote, "I will continue to fight to have my son return to my custody." She also said that she has received emails from Zampoli that she interprets as veiled threats, often referencing his proximity to Trump. In one message reviewed by O Global, he wrote that my position serving the president is not forever and that she should allow him to complete his work to help secure their son's future rather than expose him to unnecessary harm. In the same communication, Zampoli suggests that public exposure of the case, including media attention and potential testimony related to Jeffrey Epstein, could harm their son's chances of being admitted to prestigious universities. Asked by O Global why he contacted Cleveland despite no apparent direct connection to the case, Zampoli said he was concerned about his son's safety before ending the motherfucking call. Bitch, it is going to fuck down in elite white America. Melania ass out here stumping the motherfucking yard in her kitten heels, baby, turning her back to the country to denounce those alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein because her ex-girlfriend is threatening to expose her dealings to Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, Amanda's ex-husband, Mr. Zampoli, is also being accused, as you guys heard in the reading, of basically handing or being the middleman between the purchase of Melania Trump from one weirdo to another weirdo, okay? Melania Trump is deep off in this shit. And of course we know that she is, because once again, this isn't even the height of the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Melania didn't even, nuck and buck when she was being, accused, her and her husband, regarding all the things in the Jeffrey Epstein files. 3 million files released by the DOJ. Melania Trump wasn't even outside then. So for Melania Trump to bust through them damn double doors, girl, on the same day that her good girlfriend Amanda is tearing up Twitter's timeline, baby, ready to give it up, girl, ready to be subpoenaed, ready to consult and talk with the FBI, because Donald and Melania playing in her face, knowing what's going on, knowing that her ex-husband is setting her up and doing all of this F stuff because she done moved on and he trying to torture her and he don't want to pay child support and he weaponized ICE and Melania's going to sit there and do all of nothing. So now Miss Amanda is ready to flame it up. Melania will only get her robotic battery included as out here if there was fire to this particular smoke. There has to be, in my opinion, fire to this alleged smoke. Because, girl, even White House officials didn't even know that Melania ass was about to push through, girl. They had no idea she was going to push through, y'all. Baby, when I tell you Amanda got Melania ass up off her seat, it's absolutely insane. The fact that Amanda herself was 17 when she embarked upon her romantic relationship to 32-year-old Zampoli is wild. The fact that, like Trump, Zampoli has a modeling agency, and I'm going to say allegedly trafficking girls through because that's what they do, and his own wife was 17 when they met. Miss Amanda says, girl, I am the living diary. I will blow the lid off of this whole don't play with me. I'm an exotic white woman who is under the stress, girl. I will expose the Illuminati. Now, here's my thing with all of this too, right? Right now, I'm gagging. I'm gagging at MAGA completely and utterly imploding, girl, because Donald Trump is definitely getting that work right now, girl. Okay, the fact that Candace Owens and Donald Trump are at war. We'll get into that later. The fact that Alex Jones, heavy MAGA supporter, just like Candace, is at odds in a versus match with Donald Trump right now, girl. MAGA is imploding, girl. The house is on fire and all the calls are coming from within. It's absolutely insane, and I am here for the divine retribution of it all. All of these maniacs are folding. Jesus told us in the New Testament that a demonic kingdom cannot stand, okay? Because there is no honor amongst thieves, aka there's no honor amongst the corrupt. And now everything is going up in smoke, girl. And the fact that these people got midterm elections going now, and Donald Trump's numbers, his polling is lower than any U.S. American president in history. Girl, I told y'all before, all MAGA doing, all the extreme right wing is doing, girl, is ensuring that America will never have another Republican government ever again, baby. The effects of what Donald Trump and his cohorts and his political demons are doing is so extreme and fatal to the well-being of Americans, from the overturning of Medicaid, Medicare, medical insurance premiums skyrocketing, and inflation. The cost of living is sky high. There's wars and nukes and missiles being dropped. There's Iranian elementary schools that'll be blown to smithereens. Children, civilians are losing their lives. And this is not even one full year of Trump's administration, y'all. We're not even one whole year in. You would have thought this man, based upon how much history has occurred just within the short 8, 9, 10 months of his administration, girl, you would think that we're talking about an entire first term. No, girl, we're talking about only the first 9 months. The first 9 months. Imagine where we're going to be by the end of this. Imagine where we're going to be by 2028, 2029. We may not even have another goddamn president, girl. By the time this administration has finished narcissistically gaslighting and abusing civilians, girl, there may be, aka no more kings and no more presidents at all, baby. America is going to look like a third world country by the time we're at the end of this. But you know what's also really crazy, as wicked and wild as this Amanda, Zampoli, Melania Trump, Jeffrey Epstein storyline arc is? Everything is there from hell. Amanda herself can be considered to have been groomed and trafficked, considering that she was working through her ex-husband's agency, modeling agency, at the age of 17 when she embarked upon a romantic relationship to Mr. Zampoli. And even they ended up divorcing over his infidelities. And then the fact that she says that her ex-husband and Jeffrey Epstein himself were thinking about securing and buying out one of the country's largest modeling agencies, Elite Management. Baby, thank God that never happened, even though it's no telling, baby, when the Surviving Elite Management docuseries is going to come out, baby, because I told y'all before, PDF files, they hide behind the positions of being teachers, babysitters, daycare providers, coaches, scouts, tutorers, you know, anywhere, professors, janitors at school, anywhere there is young people, teenagers and children, okay? Not all people who work within these systems are corrupted in this way, but people who are corrupted in this way, who have this perversion in them, oftentimes seek this type of professional proximity to young people in order to perpetuate their abuse. Okay? By the time the Age of Aquarius is done, baby, we're going to have a Surviving America's Entertainment System documentary, girl. Surviving America's educational system as it relates to child trafficking and child abuse, okay? These people work for nonprofit for children. They work and oftentimes occupy adoptive parents. That's the easy way for abusers to traffic and get a hold of vulnerable young people. They work in orphans and in homes for the troubled youth. I mean, it is really wild. Church, yes, of course, a religion. Y'all already know that. The Vatican with all their PDF file priests, you know, the Western Church and all of its insanity and lunacy around abuse and child trafficking. It's everything where it's engrossed in our system. But, you know, I'm really, really, really triggered and upset by Amanda because the fact that she's threatening to expose things that she only wants to weaponize now because her own independent and individualized life is prompting her to use this information to get her needs met, which is to be back in the United States and to resume custody of her teenager, is so disappointing regarding Amanda's own humanity. So for her to have this interview with Global, you know, trying to also distance herself while at the same time you were sandwiched in the middle and knew enough that this could be threatening to an entire political system, you're not innocent either. Even as someone who bared witness, what Amanda did is what a lot of white elitist women know and do, is they pretend to not see the elephant that's in the room of their reality. They're complicit through their silence. You knew what your husband was doing. You knew who he was. You knew who his friends and allies and associates were. You saw little Easter eggs, etc. You walked in at times you should not have. You heard conversations at times you were not supposed to, and you remained quiet. And people who remain quiet by bearing witness to the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst are truly convinced that they are in fact innocent. You are not innocent because you recognized it as corruption at the time that you were witnessing it. But just like now, then you chose to prioritize your own well-being. You chose to sell your soul, your integrity, your dignity, and to compromise your character because it wasn't inconveniencing your little individualized life. Out of order, as Mother Iyanla would say. However, a clock, a broke one, can be right twice a day. And now, you know, as things play out in my own personal life, and things also play out in the larger over reality that we're under and in, now I understand, girl, why the spiritual scriptures and philosophies be like, you know, vengeance is the Lord's, you know, turn the other cheek, because enemies are really going to destroy themselves. It may not be tomorrow, and it may not be next week, but as we can see, it eventually and always comes. It might not come when you feel it's the most necessary. It might not come when you're the most anticipating the fallout and the bush of it all, but it always comes. Okay? Because once again, there can be no honor amongst thieves, aka the goddamn corrupted. So now it's Judgment Day, and we're going to continue to see more implosions, more exposés. People are going to be exposing themselves while they think they're exposing someone else. We're going to become more aware of just how deep the rabbit hole goes. It's very terrifying, you know, to also be aware that some of the world's most powerful and wealthiest individuals are using that wealth and that influence and that power for self-gain, and at the expense of the American people, and that these people who are creating our society and writing laws and who are creating the matrix that we all live in every single day are literally the worst of human beings. They're literally Satan worshiping, child sacrificing, sexual perverted lunatics who don't have a bit of empathy, compassion, or a damn to give about the well-being of the universe's children. My God, today. So, Amanda, girl, tear down the walls of Jerusalem, girl, brick by brick by brick, honey. Okay, even though, in my opinion, your complicity makes you also just as responsible and just as much of a bad guy, just because you maybe weren't in the rooms during abuse, maybe just because you didn't attend the sex and the freak off parties and you weren't directly a part of things. You had proxy, you were aware, and now you're wanting to weaponize all that you know because it's all about you. And that is deplorable. But I am here for whatever reason you're doing this, girl, do it. Hey, girl, we got to choose the lesser of two evils here, girl. You are part of everything that you are trying to disconnect yourself from, just like Melania is trying to do. But at the end of the day, girl, do the Lord's work, honey. Confessions. These are my confessions. Yes, honey. Even if you're doing it for selfish gain, even if you only want to do this now, for all selfish induced reasons, I am here for it, girl. Go ballistic. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. Another great under 1 hour commentary. Please thumbs up, run the likes all the way up. And Melania is also getting backlash right before we get up out of her. Thumbs up, share. Let me give y'all this, because as a result of Melania's press conference, she's being dragged by Jeffrey Epstein's victims. Let me put this banner. Where's my banner? Bloop. There it is. All right. According to Baller Alert Girl, Epstein victims fire bike at Melania Trump. Says, quote, she's shifting the burden onto survivors. All right. Statements made by survivors in response to Melania Trump's random ass press conference that y'all now know isn't so random, girl. She was responding to her ex-girlfriend, Amanda Angaro. But the statement from Epstein's victims reads this: survivors of Jeffrey Epstein have already shown extraordinary courage by coming forward, filing reports and giving testimony. Asking more of them now is a deflection of responsibility, not justice. And for those of you who haven't heard the entire press conference from Melania, please go and listen to it. I only played the part that was relevant to what I'm talking about here today. First Lady Melania Trump is now shifting the burden onto survivors under politicized conditions that protect those with power. Of course, the Department of Justice, law enforcement, prosecutors, and the Trump administration, which has still not fully complied with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. It also diverts attention from Pam Bondi, who must answer for withheld files and exposure of survivors' identities. She doxed them survivors. Those failures continue to put lives at risk while shielding the actual enablers. That's why America got to follow y'all. And unfortunately, if the innocent is in this boat with the corrupted and the day of judgment has come upon the country, girl, our asses is going to go down with it. So if you can get out of the motherfucking system, baby, while the great plagues of Egypt follow and deal with America, girl, because of this long sustaining of immorality and of psychosis, then hell, get the hell out, all right? Survivors have done their part. Now it's time for those empowered to do theirs. And let me just listen to this.
Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false.
Of course they are, Melania. Go to fucking hell. All right, I'm out of here, you guys. TGIF. I'll probably see you guys in a few. It's a lot of things we got to talk about. Make sure you run the likes all the way up. Subscribe, share. You can donate to the platform and support the Buck King at Cash App and PayPal right at the bottom of the screen in the description box below. Tell me what you guys think, baby, about Melania's random ass mother press conference on yesterday that even the White House didn't even know about. Because it's clearly a response to Miss Amanda. And what do you think about Amanda and her claims in her interview, girl? Load me up. Boost the algorithm with engagement on the platform. I will see you guys later. Peace.